We now live in an era of information explosion. Because of the fast revolving technologies, we are filled with a tremendous amount of data every day. And among them, advertisements are one of the most common ones we see in our daily lives. You see them on almost every website you browse, every time you go on any social media platform. You see them at every bus stop you stop by, every store you visit, and so on. Advertisers have really found all possible ways to advertise their products. It's shocking to see how much they would spend every year just on advertising. Just in 2018 alone, the top 200 advertisers in the US spent $163 billion in advertising, and 45 of them spent over $1 billion. You may think that these advertisements are barely affecting your purchasing decisions, or that 5 seconds advertisement in YouTube videos would not make you remember anything. But there has to be a reason why these companies would be willing to spend so much on advertisement. In order to trick you to buy their products, advertisers tend to use deceptive language, or an influencer may suggest to you products that they personally used, but in fact, it's a sponsored product. In order to regulate that, the US Federal Trade Commission enforces advertisers to convey to consumers that advertising neutral of the information. That is why you see the little tag that's saying sponsored or advertisement on the internet. These tags may imply to consumers that the information may not be credible or trustworthy. But are those labels really effective so that we don't get deceived by an ad? When we see an ad, we label the credibility of it. We may label an ad as credible or trustworthy because there is a real evidence or research conducted as proof, or it may come from a known reliable source. On the other hand, we may label an ad as non-credible or untrustworthy because it's making non-reasonable claims, or there is no real research to back up their claims. The ability to remember the source is referred to as source memory. So how well is our source memory, and how well do we remember those labels? In order to find out, 122 participants were given 80 statements, with half of them labeled as trustworthy and half of them untrustworthy. For example, a statement that is untrustworthy has a red label that says advertisement in the top left. After all statements were presented to them, participants were asked to take part in a 10-minute distractor test. Then their source memory test was performed. The participants were given statements that are mixed with the old ones they saw and also new ones. They were asked to rate the credibility of each statement and to recognize if they had seen the statements before. For all the statements they choose to be old ones, they also had to indicate whether the statements was labeled trustworthy or untrustworthy. The results showed that even just after 10 minutes of reading the statements, participants demonstrate significant poor source memory. This means that when they see an ad and remember it, there is a high chance to forget how trustworthy the product really is. This study shows how advertisement can be effective even when the information is not credible. And it makes us wonder if the bylaws are effective enough to control advertisers to use deceptive information. Have you wondered why advertisements are mostly images and videos? Will imagery affect our memory more than words? To test the effect of imageries, 90 participants were shown 6 advertisements of 6 brands. 5 of them act as filter and were low imageries advertisements, and 1 of them was the Target brand. The Target brand was presented to them as either high imagery or low imagery. The description given to them was the same. It's just that some are high image rate and some are low. After the half of participants were given a sample of the target brand to try, a week later, participants came back to fill out a survey about their attitudes toward the target brand and the product experience beliefs. The result shows that participants who weren't shown the high imagery advertisements but did not taste the product were equally as confident and favorable in their attitudes toward the target products as the participants who actually tried the product. This high imagery advertisement, like images and videos, can create a similar effect as actual experience. This is called the false experience effect. Isn't it shocking that people can show flavor to an advertised product even when they have not tried the product at all? Another finding this study has found is that participants who were shown the low imagery version of the target brand show a lot lower confidence in the product compared with the high imagery version. This shows how effective high imagery advertisements are because they lead to higher favorability of the product. Now we can come back to our question. Why do companies spend so much on AD? Because AD indeed are effective. We forgot the source tag we label for a product quickly after we seen an advertisement so that we are only left with the memory of once seeing this product. We get most of the information online nowadays, and rarely do we check the credibility of the advertisements. These advertisements can create perception towards the product that are similar with real-life experience. Now, after seeing how our memory and perception can be disturbed, would you ask yourself why you would want to reach for the Bounty paper towel the next time you go to a grocery store? Why are you confident that it's a reliable product? Is it because of you have tried it, or it's just because you have seen it so many times in sponsored YouTube videos?